Hey guys, Mangrel here, and today we're going to attempt, and I mean attempt, to repair this GoPro Hero5 Session, which, as you can see, has many issues. Alright, so the first thing we have to do is we need to get the camera taken apart, and the way that GoPro built this is the body is one piece, and then I guess the front and the inside is another piece. So what we need to do is we need to actually heat this up in order to break the seal or the glue that's around here and to get it opened up. Okay, yeah, T4. So you want to get all these screws around here opened up with your T4 screwdriver head. These are really tiny screws, so we'll place them somewhere that they won't get lost. And what we'll do once we get through this step is we're going to create a little piece of paper which has all the screws labeled, because what you'll find is that the screws are different depending on what part of the GoPro you are taking apart. So I've done something similar already with my prior GoPro Hero5 Session when we tried to replace the battery. And I say tried, but it was actually pretty successful. But the problem here is you really don't know what you're getting yourself into until you get it opened up. So we don't know if this guy has motherboard damage, the connector is just loose, you have no idea. So once you get in there, that's the only time that you can really see what's going on. So you'll kind of get to experience this at the same time that we are. So hopefully it's successful. If not, maybe it'll help someone else who has different kind of damage. So now the face can come right off. And this is supposed to be the piece that protects the camera lens. But this guy looks like it had some really crazy damage, and that's why I couldn't save the lens here. What you want to do is get yourself a heat gun. A hair dryer might work, but you definitely want to put some real heat into that thing. So I got this, what is it? It's a 10 amp. So it's a 10 amp heat gun. It says 250 to 450 degrees Celsius. That's a good amount of Celsius. So in order to protect our hands, we're going to use the best gloves we've got. We've got these dishwashing gloves, which probably better gloves out there to do this with, but this is what I had handy here. So we'll get this guy in. And what you want to do is you want to remove this cover. So it just opens up, and then once you get it opened up, you can just pull it off. So you want that cover off. And then if you have an SD card, which we don't, if you do have an SD card in there, you want to remove that. And at the same time, get yourself a flathead screwdriver that's roughly, we'll say 3 millimeters in size. Because once you heat this up, you want to actually stick this in between here and try to pry it off. So it'll be an iterative process. We'll have to do it once or twice. So let's start off. And watch your fingers, this will get pretty hot. Okay, so we only heated the front of it. Now, best place is to stick this guy, and don't do that. You want to stick this guy inside here and then try to pry it up. And you may do a little bit of damage. So you can see it's starting to move. So we'll just kind of go around a little bit. Okay, so we see it's coming out. So let's heat it up once more. And you can't get away from doing a tiny bit of damage. You be prepared for that. It's not going to look exactly brand new once you do this, but I think having a little tiny bit of a mark here is better than having a camera that doesn't work. All right, so now we'll just kind of carry along the same side that we were at. We can see it's already popping out. Let's get in there. There we go, it's already off. Voila. All right, let's see. you'll get to experience this with us. So it just, ooh, it's hot. So the front's actually metal. So the front's going to be nice and toasty. All right, so there we have the camera. So this looks like it's pretty good condition actually. Just check it out. Okay, I see a little tiny dent in the battery here. You can pick that up on the camera, a little dent. So I'm guessing it probably hit at the front. The whole camera moved in, hit at the back. But usually when that happens, you're gonna see a bend in the boards. I don't see any bending in the board. Yeah, so we see it turns on fine. All the settings are good. So you see everything seems fine. For some reason, it won't recognize an SD card. All right, so if I put this SD card in here, ooh, other way around. Okay. It did something. Okay, record. Yeah, so it gives you an SD error. Format, okay. What? Okay, format, yes. Yeah, so you see for some reason it just won't pick up the SD card. It gives a weird error. Okay, so this one here, we know it turns on, everything seems to work. It's got the busted lens here, and something about the SD card has the issue. So that's this guy here. Now this one is our donor camera. So this one won't even turn on, and we can tell it took a really bad hit at the back. But if we look, this protector is good, and then the actual lens itself is good. And this one I've already disassembled. Oops, we lost the button. Yeah, so that's how the back looks. Come on. Oh, the door's closed. There we go. So this one, when we look at it, you can actually see that the board, you can actually see that the board is bent. And when I took this one apart, it looks like one of the chips here, I think this guy here, the main chip, which has this thermal interface, is actually cracked in half. So that's why this one doesn't work. And this one won't even turn on. So I think the hope here is that we can make one good camera out of these two busted cameras. Now it's the really fun part. So what we want to do is we want to start taking this camera apart. And the first thing that we should really do here is we should disconnect the battery, because we don't want anything to accidentally short out here. So let's get in here and start desoldering these battery leads. I'm going to move the leads a little bit. All right, forgot to mention, if you have glasses, put your glasses on, grab yourself some coffee. So this part you don't want to rush. You want to take your time, take some breaks if you have to. I'm just going to grab this with this guy here. And then very carefully, I don't want to touch anything else. I want to desolder this. Okay, should be off. Okay, he's off. Just bend him out of the way for now. And I think best thing to do here is put a small piece of tape on that. Okay, so let's put a small piece of tape. Okay. Now let's move on to the next wire. Yeah, there we go. The battery says rechargeable lithium ion, 3.8 volts, 1000 milliamps. And now we're left with this guy here. So we can see it's a very smart design. Look at this thing, how they've built something to go all together like this. All right, so now we want to start removing these screws. So maybe we'll start with this side. So I see a little connector here. Let's pop that connector off. All right, so the connector is off. All right, so let's start from this side here. So we need a T4. So let's get these screws off. Okay, so this motherboard seems to have popped off. I hear rattling. That's not a good sign. Okay, and then we have some more screws from the motherboard down here. But let's start labeling. So we need to label our sheet. And this was motherboard side, right? Motherboard side. Okay, and then we have a motherboard bottom. Because when I check this out, the bottom looks like it's got Phillips screws. So we want to grab our tiny Phillips screwdriver. Open these guys up. So there's two down here. Okay, 1, 2. Oh wait, they're different. The one that comes out of here is definitely longer than the one that comes out of here, which is, surprise, surprise, shorter. All right, cool. So that should have freed up our motherboard. So now, if I check this, yeah, she's got a little bit of play to her. Okay, can I get it off? Okay, so we have a connector here. Grab a little tiny screwdriver to pop this guy off. Okay, so he's off. Okay. All right. Okay, so it looks like the motherboard is connected to the body. A little bit of thermal pad, so maybe that's why it's not coming off. Let's see, let me give it a little bit of wiggle. Okay, we have another connector down here. Let me pop that connector off. Okay, and motherboard should just come right off. Okay, so there's another connector over here. We gotta be careful of that one when putting it back together. So 1, 2, 3, 4 connectors. Okay, let me see if I can grab this thermal pad, take this guy off. I wanna look at the actual chips, make sure nothing's broken into chips. Okay, try not to touch it. Okay, and this guy should go right here. All right, I gotta touch it. There we go. Okay. So this is what's rattling, but that's just a cover. So it should be fine. That's our microphone. I mean, this board looks pretty good. Check it out. It's perfectly straight. I mean, okay, not perfectly straight, but it's pretty straight. It's pretty good. And that looks really good. I don't see anything visibly wrong. But check these chips. You know what I wonder if maybe this connector had gone knocked loose or something, maybe, because that's what connects to the SD card. All right, so let's put that aside. Let's come back to this, because we know we got to get down to the lens. So next we need to all right, let's start getting these guys out. So we have 3 screws here. And 1 screw here. Okay, this guy comes off. Okay, let's label. So this was, I guess, battery case, I'll call it. Battery case. Okay. And then this was, I guess we'll call it left side. Okay. So now we probably should get these guys out. Let's get these guys out. Good, these are all the same screws. So all these were the same screws. This one was different. Okay. So left side. So now I see a bunch of screws inside here. I'm guessing that's what holds this all together. So you see these little screws? Let's get in there. One, 2, 3, 4. And these are Phillips screws, they're not Torx. And 4. Okay, cool. So now this just slides right up and out. Okay, let's take a look at this. I mean, this should be fine because this has nothing to do with the SD card. This is the top display. The buttons, those are all fine. This is the USB, which I guess we did not have to take that off. But that was fine as well, because we did recharge display. So yeah, I think this module is okay, no problem with that module. Now I think this is where our issues start from. So this is the SD card. Okay, so let's take the lens out. There's 3 screws, so there's 1 out. Oh, we forgot something important. Label these guys. So this was, as I'll call it, lens, no, screen body maybe? Screen body. All right. We almost lost track of these screws. Okay, screen body. All right, now again with the Phillips, we want to get inside here. There's 3, so that's 1. 2. Oh, that's it. It's only 2. So this guy, you kind of push it up and then it pops out. Okay, that's good. Cool, now we've got, I think, the last screw right down here. That should pop out our SD card. Okay, that one looks different. So let's keep that one separate, the screw. Okay. Oh, we're tangled. Okay, there we go. It looks like maybe there's a little component missing here. We'll have to compare this with the other camera, our donor camera. Okay, so that piece may be suspect, maybe okay. Let's put that aside. Now this guy should pop out. Oh, I'm losing pieces of glass. So it looks like maybe it's sealed. See that? It's sealed in there. Okay. Yeah, so there's some kind of gasket here. All right, let's clean all this up. So these 2 were for the lens itself. This was for the SD card. Yeah, so that's 1 piece. So I don't think we can save this. Yeah, it's all 1 piece. And that glue, I think, is pretty... Can't separate it, can I? No, that's like a really hard glue. Okay. So let's put this aside. Let's switch cameras. So now we want to try this guy. So I think very similarly, we'll start taking pieces off, and I think we're gonna use pieces of the 2 cameras to put them back together. Actually, I wonder if temporarily I can just swap the motherboard in, because I know this camera has a busted motherboard because this chip is broken in half. Let me just try installing our good motherboard onto this guy. That's a quicker fix. All right, let me try that. Okay, now the fun part. We need to get all these guys plugged in. Okay, I probably have to do this off camera. We need to align it here, and then we need to plug it in. I think it's in. All right, so big screw goes here. Little screw goes here. And then we bend this guy back. We gotta plug this guy in. Okay, I think he's in. Okay, are we sure he's in? Yep. All right, fold them over. Now I need motherboard side, motherboard side, motherboard side. Okay, we have one more plug to get in there. This guy. Okay, he's in. Okay, so let's resolder the battery. Yeah, I guess it's fine for now. Okay, let's do this one. Okay. So I saw a red light, so there's some kind of life. Let's see, menu button. Okay, stuff's happening. Okay, but that was no different than what happened previously. So let's put the SD card in. Okay, so far, I mean, no different, right? Moment of truth, turn it on. Hello. Turn it, oops. Woo! She's alive. Guys, you see that? Now it's picking up the SD card, 1 hour, 10 minutes. Okay, if I push this, will it record? Come on, record. Push. Boom. Okay. All right, she's alive. So I think the issue was this. Because when you look very closely at this guy here, I'm not sure you see how it looks like it's missing something. Maybe like a little component has popped off. I think that was the issue, yeah. She's working. Good, I think that deserves a little break. Let's grab some cold coffee. Okay, so now that we know it's working, I think we need to fix it properly. Yeah? Yeah, it's all good. Okay, let's take the SD card back out again. And now we need to solder these wires properly, which, I mean, honestly, we should have just done that from the very beginning, but so now here's where it's gonna become a little bit interesting because we need to glue this back together. There isn't enough sealant left around this for us to reseal with the same sealant. So what I want to do is, first of all, clean around it with a little bit of alcohol. We're gonna use the E6000 industrial strength adhesive to re-glue the two halves back together. I purchased this off of Amazon. I'll give you a link in the video description. And this is what I used when I did this kind of repair last time when I took the GoPro Hero5 Session apart to change the battery. We used this and it seemed to work fairly well. Grab a little bit on a small screwdriver and then start to work it around the edges. There's actually a little tiny kind of crease there, a little hole. So you want to just work this inside that. Just take your time, go around, work it in there. If a little bit comes out, that's fine. We'll fix it later. We'll clean it up. But you want to get it all around. And the better you do this, the more watertight the camera will become. And I don't know if it's ever going to be as watertight as when it was from the factory, but I mean, still, this is a pretty old camera, so I'm not even sure if I'd rely on that waterproofing to begin with. But try to go all around the sides to get inside that channel there. Get right in there. Okay. Now we take this side and we stick it inside here. Okay, so now we want to find some kind of clamp where we can clamp these two together. So there you have it. We've gone ahead and clamped the two sides together. We'll give this a day or so to dry. And looks like we actually did have a successful operation here. Now, we went into this with no real expectation of being able to fix the camera, because it's a mystery. Once you open it up, that's only when you can figure out what's going on. And the other camera, which had the broken chip on the board, I mean, who could have guessed, right? All we know is it won't turn on. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and hopefully it does help you attempt to fix your GoPro Hero5 Session, especially because these cameras are so rare. If you do have one, you probably want to try to make it last as long as possible. And a lot of times getting another one of these cameras is just not a possibility. I think they still go for over $200 on eBay. So hopefully this helps some of you out there. Definitely helped us. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment,